The PNP's impossible 3 trillion missing propaganda is hilarious and lacks intelligence. I admit I have to laugh at length sometimes when I look at what they are saying, but it's because I cannot wrap my head around someone believing the absurdity. So, yes, it's funny, but it's serious too. This is why I warn people to stop depending for definitions. The things that these sorcerers do to people's minds, just like what scammers do to their victims. You can't figure out how naive people get. Mind science used for evil is sorcery. I keep drilling that point. The things they can make you believe. Hello again, my people. It's Skywalker. Top of the day or the night. Whatever is true to where you are when you see this video. Here I am again putting some light to the darkness. How can people be fooled by the obvious? SHIT does not spell sugar. They must analyze the letters or learn to spell. Although this came as a part of the PNP propaganda ply to deface the JLP and win credibility, the gravity of the illiteracy involved in coining such a lie to use as rhetoric for sane and sober people to believe shows you the kind of voters that the PNP is targeting to win the election. It is kind of embarrassing when someone tries to use that funny but demeaning propaganda on me. It does insult one's intelligence. We don't live in the 70s anymore. The info is all around, and we don't have to depend on media or politicians to tell us anything anymore. Someone claims that a building owned by Andrew Holness is in breach, which all parts of this is a lie. The fact that you want to believe otherwise does not change the fact of ownership. It's on record. Anyone can make up stories. Someone can insist that my family member's car is mine. Bad mind and stuff has nothing to do with truth and legalities. We all have personal lives and boundaries, and we should ascribe the same rights to others as we want for ourselves. We can always say that something is wrong with wholeness father or mother putting his name in their near empty bank books. That does not change the fact that it is insignificant, bad mind, crap. Moreover, the books don't have much in them anyway. A lot of parents do the same anyway. We must look. Why? Why would you take your own and believe it has to be different for the other person when he wants his own? Bad mind is a disease. My father had a bank book that my name was in, and I would not include it as anything I owned. Bad mind gots to go. Let's talk about the breach part. A lawyer is telling architects that their interpretation of a building breach is wrong. And by that, this lawyer is writing a false narrative. He is overruling their report and writing a false narrative. And it's not about law, it's about building plan breach. And he's talking to the architects and the people that work with the office that deal with these things. Come on. He should be put in jail as a menace to society. He challenges the professionals in order to tell a lie because he is so desperate to bring harm to Andrew Holness, and the media couldn't wait to act on his overruling of the architect text to help him tell the lie. I bet that this fool drew his own house plan himself, right? Don't you believe so? When will this buffoonery end? Supported by the media and friends of the chain gang. How do you know the truth? Simple. Stop listening to news, trusted or not, and go and find that document yourself. Then you will know 100%, even if you are not an architect, that the building is not in breach because it's there. No one has to tell you. You don't have to wait for TVJ or any other news. Go read the document. The reason why TVJ came to apologize to Andrew Holness does not deserve forgiveness. They only apologize because their arses ain't covered on this one. They are a part of the chain gang too. They go far. They go far sometimes. Far, far, far. Far up into the cow's butthole. Because they have all these grudges in high places that use their ability to twist laws to keep this country under siege for the chain gang to operate. And even while they twist and spin, their nakedness show through the glass doors they hide behind. They are all so obvious now. Obvious. Why do I know that TVJ doesn't mean to apologize? Well, how can you be fooled about what's in a document when you hold that document in your hand and are trained to read and analyze? It's like Maverick looking at an empty bank book and asking where so much money came from. Are the IC identifying Jamaican dollars as US and asking how the hell you made so much? Deliberate propaganda, but people pretend to be blind. Even if a politician, Mark Golding, for example, even if he tells you that he was born in Jamaica and the news media spin lies for him, you can simply go and find other documents or other avenues of his to prove that he was born in London. This is why we call these times the information age. Ignorance is a choice unless you are illiterate. Picture one man who committed carnal abuse against a minor, a young girl, or two, and impregnated her or them. When one child was 12, he was called out for it and decided to bring a lawsuit saying that they were defaming him. On the day of the trial, the judge simply deducted the number of the child's age from the age of her mother, and there you have it. See how easy you can find stuff out for yourself? Sometimes we only have to do the math. This is proof that we cannot just take someone's word for it. Neither is it fair to do to others what you would not like for others to do to you. A man has a British passport and was born in England, does not help his constituency and invest in Cayman, but we say he is more patriotic than a man who invests in Jamaica and has one passport, Jamaican only. But as they keep doing to our black leaders in both parties of recent times, to include Peter Phillips, Portia Simpson, Lisa Hanna, Bruce Golding, and now Andrew Holness, to empower the white candidates, Rise United. They insist to continue this today, and we must say no because we ain't no traitor. Country over politics. I am not going to pretend like I am dunce to spread no damned propaganda for no white man, for Funky Bell and Balai, like an old harlot woman. But some men are doing it, as you can see. Every day someone betrays the people, but everyone claims he is not the Judas. My actions and my words are one. Every day someone is betraying, and everyone claims that he is not the Judas. Every Christian curses Judas, but more Christians are traitors than anyone else. Rastafari claim to be roots grounded and for black people until you see them begging for change or joining chain gangs. Let's talk about the $3 trillion missing dunce propaganda. I am not even laughing at the joke anymore. Like, where do you believe 3 trillion can just up and go like that? 3 trillion is too big to move without footprints, even in digital currency. There was no trailer loading up at any bank and taking up cargo. Huh? You know, you watch Scarface. There, come on, man. Scarface couldn't carry that amount of money, of cash. 3 trillion is more than 19 billion US with a B, I mean, on a little rock island with little limited GDP. Come on. You are more. Come on, people. Have you, come on, have you, math students, knocked your heads? It's almost like saying you went to fish in a backyard fishing pond and pulled out a whale. That would be nonsensical. No, this so called confusion came because some people, including the media, were too dunce to understand and explain the findings of the accountants. Doesn't mean we must do that dunce thing with them, doing the dunce dance, everybody. Somebody tell you something that's stupid, just don't take it because you're intelligent. Other unscrupulous characters, and I bet you already guessed that those others are the chain gang. Well, as crazy as it sounds, the chain gang decided to use it as a political propaganda and turn it against the JLP because they are now in office, although the larger portions of that figure was unaccounted for under the PNP and continued to the time of the audit. I repeat, even though the larger portion of those figures were unaccounted for under the PNP, the chain gang, Mark Golden and his chain gang, decided to spin it and use for a political propaganda. But you don't have to take my word for it. Go and look up it yourself. It was an audit report by the body that does the audit. So you can go and look up that and study it for yourself, right? No, in fact, they began this from as early as 2016 after Holness went to power. I remember that. I will soon explain the audit and its findings. Then you can explain how the deedles, how the deals and daddles, 50 pounds of rice goes missing from a 50-pound bag. But everyone got their share of rice. All these government departments got and spent their share of the 3 trillion that was missing. So, was it missing or just not accounted for? Explain. There is a difference. No, not accounting for something does not mean that it was missing. As a youngster, I was managing a warehouse and the accountant could not get anywhere without my stock info. If I did not turn it in, it was not accounted for. From his perspective, did not mean that all the milk and ice cream was missing from the warehouses and fridges. I simply did not turn in my account. There were times that I literally worked almost 24 hours and they had to receive it late. Some offices struggle with the means to supply their reports, and part of the problem was Jamaica's caveman system. If Tree Trill was missing, Christopher Tufton could not be offering any free teeth today. Don't you see him offering free teeth? Anyone who has none? Sometimes we have to laugh to pass off the ignorance of others. The PNP depends on ignorance, and Jamaicans are easily caught and led. Poor Favour Williams had a culture shock the other day as a new finance minister and seeing the idiotic people that poor Nigel had to deal with. She tried to talk with a straight face, but I don't believe she could help seeing how hilarious the stupid people were. I watched her and wondered when she would lose it and burst out in laughter, like shocked at the gravity of the ignorance. A man has a document that says Andrew does not own a property and there was no building breaches, but tells the media differently, although they had the document too. That sounds more like a tag team gangster king situation where one party is giving the prompt for propaganda. Why do these chain people believe they can fool Jamaicans with impossible stories? Well, why does a scammer believe he can tell you that you won when you didn't buy a ticket and you would believe? Well, he believes he can tell you because it works. People are gullible. Now, go check it out for yourself. You don't have to take Markage's chain gang words. You don't have to take the media's word. Go look at it, read the documents. JAMP, which is the Jamaica Accountability Meter Portal, conducted a review to examine the Auditor General's annual reports for 16 government entities, including various ministries over 6 to 11 years, spanning the Portia Simpson and Andrew Holness regimes. So the report started at 2022, at 2012. The report started at 2012, and Portia Simpson was in power at that time, not Andrew Holness. They made their findings, which was obvious as this was like the norm in Jamaica government system, especially with the changing times and little to no improvements in accounting facilities. They found that 3 trillion in government spending was unaccounted for. It is like a husband buying a computer, a broom and a bicycle and asking what's the price. The cashier says it's 150,000. He pays for the entire thing. When he goes home, his wife asks how much is it for the computer, and he can't figure it out. His receipt has only that one figure, so there is no breakdown of his spending to tell the cost of each individual item, right? However, he did bring home the the entire thing. This 3 trillion figure represents the total of missing reports from these entities and does offer a loophole for workers or management to steal. Of course, if the man got 25% discount on the computer, she would not know. If he didn't tell her, he could keep it from her as his own windfall, and that would be a loophole. But that wouldn't mean that 3 trillion, or that wouldn't mean that 150,000 was missing. He went and got what he should have gotten. But how did he spend each individual for each individual item is not recorded. So in that there is a loophole. But then she could not say he left the computer or didn't bring the bicycle or he missed out an item. We recently saw where persons from Hart used a loophole to steal, unfortunately. This will happen everywhere that people work. Sometimes if there is no loophole, they will make one. This is why the recommended updates are being put into place. Moreover, it has nothing to do with PNP or JLP administrations. And if it did, the PNP had too many years in power up to 2016 to not upgrade a thing. All the upgrading and the development now has to be done by the JLP. So the propaganda points back to the PNP. It is absolutely stupid. The greater portions of that unaccounted funds was under the PNP government too. Maybe it's a non-issue considering the whole, but let's put that out for the finger pointers. Too many people are lazy to see for themselves. They have dependency for definitions from some corrupted thinking treasonous chain gang leaders. And because they don't know the real truth, they cannot stand up to their affirmations. The facts are there all the time. Most docs are online too. The only difference is that now you read them yourself instead of someone interpreting them to you. Most of these problems are not even political. Moreover, there could be as many or even more PNP workers in these ministries, government ministries, I mean, as JLP. So, what is the issue? I said, and I am going to repeat, there is most likely more PNP workers in government ministries than JLP workers, even though Andrew Holness is Prime Minister. The Integrity Commission is mostly packed with PNP stalwarts who use their position where they must be unbiased to be PNP activists, which is like treason in itself. Skywalker is the man who will call it out. No PNP legacy is going to muzzle me. Country first. The ministries of education, youth and information, health and wellness, and labor and security are in the worst condition when it comes to lack of accountability. Faval Williams task to ensure these reports are submitted and timely will simply make her be another big achiever for the JLP, for she will do what no other party did. This is why I always say that PNP propaganda will always only bring down the PNP. While it is a system problem rather than one confined to a single government, the lack of transparency and delayed reporting affords loopholes for unscrupulous individuals. Faval Williams have a task. All it takes is that we, the people, must raise our voices in demanding that this reform does take place under this government of Dr. Andrew Michael Holness, whom the PNP Rise United Gang Party seems to be treating as God and asking him to fix everything. Well, it only shows that even they know that he is the man for the job. And that's why the third term is loading as we speak. Because we are tired of chain gang lies and propaganda. Because it's country over politics. Because we now gonna make no long seed English guy come take big man for big head but because we can read the facts and we are not dependent for definitions from no white man. For we not damn dunce. Think on these things, my people. Peace out.